Hey developers, today I'm going to show you guys some new features from Coder.com. I'm going to talk about 3 new features that I really enjoy and really like. So make sure you stay tuned, watch all the way to the end, and you guys can learn all about it. Hey, and if you don't know, Coder.com is a server-powered IDE. Basically, they're a cloud IDE. They have up to 96 cores. You can get VSCode extensions. You can code in the browser. What's really cool about this is that you basically get a whole Linux box in the IDE, and really awesome of them. It's absolutely free. They are in alpha right now, but you can sign up right now. So make sure you go to Coder.com and click on that sign up. It's absolutely free, and sign up. You can see they support your favorite VS Code plugins, which we'll talk about in a minute. You can redo some real-time collaboration. So I went ahead and loaded up a login here. So I'm logged into my account. You can see here in the top right hand corner, it might be a little bit small on the screen, but you can see they give you 3 gigs for free when you start off, and then 3 gigs of container space, 3 gigs of project storage, and it has 1 hour of fast time. If you don't know what fast time, this is really what is a big differentiator at Coder.com. So you turn on this fast time, and it basically speeds up your whole project. So your installing anything becomes much faster. Everything runs much faster because you basically have a Linux container that you're working with. So I'll show you how this works. So if I click on create project here, I don't have any projects, but I can do my new project, and then I'll hit enter, and it gives you an option to change the owner size, but for right now we'll just leave it as is. And we can open in VS Code. Soon they're going to have some local storage, but not right now. But if you click in VS Code, it'll go ahead and load. This will just take a second. Okay, the Visual Studio Code Coder.com IDE has opened up here. And I can show you a few of the new features that Coder.com has been offering. So like I mentioned earlier, they're in alpha, so they're continuously adding some really cool features and making this even more powerful. So one thing I mentioned earlier was also they had 3 gigs of disk space, but really the disk space dynamically increases, so you never have to worry about running out of disk space. You also get tons of power, so you get up to 96 core servers. So this can be a really, really powerful IDE for you. So it doesn't matter if you're on a really slow Windows laptop or a Mac laptop, you're going to have a ton of power. And basically you get this Linux container. So if you open up the terminal here, this is a fully featured Linux container where you can install packages, you can get up and running really quickly. It's fully integrated with Git, so you can push up your code to Git, you can do deployments, things like that. But you don't have to have a super powerful computer to do all this, which is great for teams that want to save a little bit of money and they want to have just a really powerful IDE, but they don't have to worry about giving everybody super fast Mac laptops or things like that. And it has some really cool collaboration tools built into it. I kind of talked about that in my last video as well. So one thing I really like about what they're doing here is that they have added full extension support, which is pretty awesome. So just like your Visual Studio Code that you can run outside of your browser, you can install extensions. Like I really like the TypeScript extensions for like Angular and so forth. I can show you one right now I really like is Vim. I'm a big Vim user. I can click install here. It installs it. I can reload it, and it goes ahead and installs it into my IDE. So for example, now that I have it installed, if I go to my new project here, I'll go ahead and create, let's see here, I'll go ahead and create a new file. And we'll go ahead and save it as index.html. And now we have 2 things. First, you can see here's the blinking cursor, and this is basically, I have full Vim extensions in here, so I can do hello world. I can yank it, I can copy and paste it real easily. Top of file, bottom of file, everything works fine. So I got my full Vim extension working here. It also has full built-in Emmet support. So if I do HTML5, I have my whole document here. I can quickly create divs. Hello. Create my h1 tag here. And then, of course, I can make anything I want here really easily. I don't know. You can see here. So you can see here I just really easily, quickly made everything I wanted inside my quick HTML file here to get up and running. And it's just like using Visual Studio Code, which is pretty powerful. So let's say I wanted to run this just really silly web page, my Hello World web page. I can open up my container here. I can even change some terminal settings if I wanted to. And if I type in ls, you can see here's my index. Now I do have Node installed, so if I look here, I have Node 10.5 installed for me already. So I can do, let's say I want to just create a quick server to run this index.html file. So I'll do an npm install. I'll do an HTTP server, and I'll do tac-g, so install it globally. And that'll install this HTTP server package, and if you're not familiar with this just creates a really simple server for you. So if I do HTTP server, you can see it's running in port 8080. And that should be picked up by our coder.com right here. And I'll click this button right here, and it'll open up, and you can see here's the web page. It's working great. Okay, I went ahead and showed you a few features of coder.com, but I want to show you how I can create a brand new project using Vue CLI and how easy it is. So just like you would do on your Mac or your Linux box using the command line, we can go ahead and install the Vue CLI. So in the command line, I'll type in npm install tac-g at Vue CLI, and this will go ahead and install it. Now, if you receive any errors on this, let me know in the description or comments below. This is still an alpha. There's still some tweaks that they're doing, but it should work. So if you are after you get this installed here, now I can go ahead and create a new project. So I can do Vue create my new app, and then it should ask me some questions about what I want to do. So I'm just going to manually select features. I'm just going to leave Babel. I'm going to uncheck linter. I'm not going to do anything else just because this is a quick Hello World app. And I'm going to put the files in a dedicated config file. And save this as a preset feature, no. And it should go ahead and install the project for me, and it'll just take a second. Alright, so I went ahead and installed the new project. So if I look inside here, I can see here's my index.html, but if I go to my new app, you can see here it is. Now one thing I had to do to get this working is I created a Vue config.js file. Let me go ahead and do that. So if I go back up here, you can see now I have my new app folder, and we need to find the Vue config file. Now in this Vue config file, we can actually overwrite some settings. So what we want to do is we want to do an module.exports, and then have that equal a object here. And then inside the object, we're going to have something called dev server. And then inside here, we're just going to put host 0.0.0.0, port, we'll leave it 8080, and then disable host check equals with check uppercase true. And if we save that, this actually tells it to disable host check. That's just something we need to do for this to work in the browser the way it's set up here. So if we do an npm run serve, it's going to go ahead and create our CLI service. It's going to go ahead and start running. And now if we click on our little globe here, we click this button. So there it is. So you see our app is now loaded, and of course go in here if we wanted to make changes, we can make changes to it and update it, which makes it really easy to go in and do everything that we need to do. All right, so that is coder.com, and that is some of the cool new features. Like I said, make sure if you're interested in this that you sign up. Like I said, it's 100% free. You can play around with this, try to create your next project in it, see how you like it. I was just playing around earlier today installing NVM, or not installing NVM, but installing Vue and Angular, and it was working very well through the root at coder.com, the terminal through here, and then bringing up projects and then just kind of trying it out and seeing how it works, and it was all working very well. So make sure you guys check out coder.com. If you guys have any questions, leave a comment below. Let me know, and I'll try to answer for you. Thanks.